Have you ever started a challenge with all good intentions that you're going to do it every single day, and then all of a sudden something happens in life, and it takes you off track, and then it's difficult to get back to it, or that life activity becomes more important than that challenge that you started? So one of the things that we've got going on in our free group this month, Sal, is our arm toning challenge, as you know. And so each week we've got, a different small type of exercise to do that we're focusing on. And so we're mixing it up and we're adding more into it as we're progressing through it. And so one of the things that I actually noticed was, when we started the first couple of days, everybody's checking in and telling me, yay, I've got it done, and this is what I've done. And then as we've got further into it, the numbers are starting to dwindle. And it's quite normal for us to have that happen to us, that life distracts us. And so if you think about it, if we cannot manage to do something that is less than 5 minutes in our daily life, how on earth are we going to actually create an exercise routine that's, for example, 30 minutes? That's just going to be near impossible if we can't manage to do those small things. And it really comes down to being consistent and not allowing those life distractions to get in the way, and to allow us to build momentum. So one of the things that happened to me during this challenge was on Wednesday, I had done the workout and it was pretty intense with our fit flexors. And, one of the last things that I wanted to do was to tack on the end of this arm toning challenge and do these extra 4 sets. And I went, the thoughts that go through your head, no one's going to know. It doesn't matter. I'm too sore. I've already done a workout. I don't need to do it. And you know what happened? I went, you know what? You're the person who's actually introduced this challenge. You're the person who's there to support everybody. You're the person who's supposed to be cheering everybody else on. What type of leader are you if you can't dig deep, if you can't find your grit, resilience, determination to actually get this done? Just get it done. Stop those thoughts that are going on in your head and do it. And that's what happened, is that I did finish it. And I can tell you now that my arms were aching for like so long afterwards. There was little quivers as I'm using my mouse. But, and when I think about all those little quivers that were going on, I'm going, oh, I know that I've worked hard today. I'm a real champion today. I was so super proud of myself. So, Sal, have you ever lost momentum before?
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
You start a challenge, and one of the other, when you were saying, no one will know, and all these thoughts going you through your head, and, one of my thoughts then was, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do double tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And, when tomorrow comes around, you're not even doing one.
Yeah.
There's no double. You're not even doing one.
Yeah.
So it's hard to keep that momentum up.
Oh, it definitely is. And I think one of the first pieces of advice that I would give is find that time during the day when you know that you can do it every single day. So you're looking to, what is that thing that I do each day? So cleaning your teeth is a classic, right? So I'm going to clean my teeth, and then after I clean my teeth, I'm going to do it. Because then you're using that teeth cleaning as a trigger or a cue to actually get that action done. So it could be that you boil the kettle at 10 a.m. every morning for a cup of tea. So you might use the kettle boiling. And the kettle boiling is an absolutely perfect one when it comes to, these smaller challenges like this, because the kettle takes 2 to 3 minutes to boil. So therefore, if I take advantage of those 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to get those few exercises done in that time. So I think that's the first piece of advice that I would give is when you are developing some type of new routine, is to tack it onto something that you do every day, not something that you do 5 days a week, something that you do every single day.
You know, doing the laundry is, you know, another one that you could piggyback it on. And you said, you know, it's 4 sets of like 4 sets that you're doing, you know, so do a set, hang a bit of washing out, do a set, hang a bit of washing out.
Yeah.
Plus you're also outside getting a bit of sun, a bit of nature. But yeah, definitely piggyback it on something else.
Yeah. You know, and one of the other things that I was thinking about was this life happens, and I always talk about this, is that having a life happens plan, because it does happen. You know, we always tell ourselves that we're going to do something, and then there will always be some event that gets in the road. There's no question about that. And so what is our fallback position? What are the things that are important to us? What are the things that will only take a small amount of time for us to do that, so that we don't lose that momentum that we have already gained? So
and let's
it's
be
having
honest,
a plan. Yeah.
And let's be honest, you know, we know life's going to happen. We know these events are coming up. We know, you know, I have a doctor's appointment in a week's time.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very, very rare that our day-to-day life is spontaneous things that we've got to get done within the next 5 minutes. We pretty much know what our day is going to be like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the whole life happens thing, you know, I think sometimes that can be an excuse as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It could be. You know, and the other thing that I was thinking about is that the motivation, you know, I always call motivation the magical, mystical unicorn, as you know. And it's the number one thing that we hear all the time. Look, I just don't have the motivation to start exercising or to keep exercising. But motivation only comes once you start taking action. So it's like, don't use the motivation excuse, because it is simply just that. It's like, you need to dig deep and find out what's the real reason behind this, because it's not motivation. It's something else other than that. And I think that, you know, when it comes to keeping that momentum and, you know, avoiding saying, I don't have the motivation, is those small steps. And I mean, I know that I will bang on about this all day, every day. But I know that, like Paul said the other day, you know, I don't want to work out with you. So, because, you know, I'm working out with him, but also working out for my own workouts, because they're a lot easier that I'm doing with him. And he goes, I don't want to do the workout today. Why not? I just don't feel like it. I'm not motivated enough. And it's like, well, why not? And he said, well, I just can't be bothered. And I said, well, are you tired? What is it? And he said, yeah, I just don't want to do it. And I said, well, how do you feel afterwards? What's the benefit to you? I know I need to do it. I know I need to do it. It's like, and I know that I feel better afterwards. Okay, I'm just going to do a little bit. Okay, great. Let's do a little bit, you know? And so we do a little bit, and then he goes, I'm just going to do a little bit more. Okay. Before you know it, he's actually done a whole workout. And I said to him this morning, because we went through the same process all over again, I said to him this morning, how are you feeling now? And he says, isn't it funny that, you know, you just take that one thing. You just do that one thing. You don't feel like it. You just don't want to do it. But once you do it, you go, oh, okay, yes, I can do more. Yes, I've got this under control. And now I feel so much better for it. But, the one important factor about all of that was that he's got somebody there who's going, but why? But why? But why?
But why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I've often spoken about this before, talking about the challenge this week, and, towards the end of the week, the check-ins were dwindling and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
When you are looking for momentum, and, for example, you've done it for 4 days in a row, and that 5th day, it's like, I don't want to do it, as you were saying with Paul. You go into that headspace of, well, there is no excuse because I've just done it 4 days before.
Yeah.
So why can't I do it today?
Yeah.
There's no reason why you can't do it today.
And look, it could be burnout. Like you could be feeling very fatigued or something like that. And if you are, that's when it's important to actually question yourself. Am I actually feeling, fatigued and burnt out from this? Or, am I just simply giving myself an out on it because I really just don't want to do it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, if you're fatigued or burnt out, that's going to impact every part of your day.
Oh, absolutely, it is.
So is that just another excuse that you're using to not just do this part of your day?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And, another catch-22,
Yeah.
You're tired, exercise, because that gives you your energy back.
Yeah, absolutely. You change that whole physiology, and the exercise doesn't have to be, like full on exercise, for example. You could be dancing.
Yeah.
So I know recently I had some music blasting while I was doing the vacuuming, and next thing I'm doing the air guitar with the with the vacuum cleaner and everything. I had an absolute ball. It didn't feel like exercise, like it was physical activity. So there's sort of like, identifying what's physical activity as opposed to exercise. And yeah, there's a bit of a difference there. I think the other point is that lack of consistency, developing those routines. That's what's really, really important. And understanding that whatever that routine is, put it in place for you each and every day and have that fallback position so that life happens plan, so that you can always do something, because something is better than nothing. Exercise alone, helps you prevent up to 40 different chronic diseases. So it's like a magic pill. So it's definitely worthwhile doing, and it's definitely worthwhile, embracing and becoming I call it the exercise lover. So, I because I've never really thought of myself, when I first got into doing exercise as an exerciser. And then I thought, if I don't actually think of myself as being that person, therefore I am going to allow myself those outs when they arise. Whereas if I see myself as an exercise lover, I am going to fully embrace and be passionate about it. So you got anything to wrap up on?
There's no end date on your fitness, your exercise. The challenge that we have running in our group, it goes for the month. But don't look at it as there's an end date on that, because you can keep going with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's important. There's no real end date. If you are someone who sets goals, as an example, generally as a rule, you'll follow the SMART process. And so you'll have some type of time associated with it, and you'll say, I'm going to do it in this time. But once you start to get close to that, it's time to actually move the goalposts on yourself and reset something else. And I really like something that you said recently when we were doing another live, was about you had these goals that you spoke about, and they were actions. So they weren't actually achieving something. It was, you were achieving something, but it was an action that you were taking.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, ladies. So what we want you to think about today is that we all go through those moments where we can lose momentum. But what it requires us to do is to get out of our head, and because what's going on there we are putting up barriers for ourselves. And so we want to step out of our head and just simply take that small step, that action, to doing whatever it is that we committed to doing. And that's when you'll find at the end of it, you'll be really happy with yourself and satisfied with yourself that you've actually achieved it. Thanks for joining me, Sal.
Thank you for having me, Peter.
You are very welcome. Thanks for joining us, ladies. We'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.